Oh, I hope you guys are ready for another win. Yep, I'm not tired of it either. Let's keep going. The judge in Alabama just backhanded not only the Biden administration ATF, also the Bondi administration ATF in a granting of victory to the NRA around this pesky little thing called engaged in business. I'm going to walk you through the entire thing. If this is not something you're familiar with, buckle up. We're about to do a crash course in this freedom. Everything will be linked in the description box below. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. I love each and every one of you the right amount. Let's get into this midday snack before we go to our live stream, which you guys are going to love. All right. You can follow me on X at Braden LOA, but let's dive right in. We're not going to bury the lead. I got to show you this. Okay. So basically, we win again. Yes. It's becoming a habit. I'm going to keep on doing it and keep on celebrating because, damn it, we are saving our country one victory at a time. Now, if you are not from the gun world, I am. That's kind of my thing. Policy expert, news, breaking news, analysis, commentary. If you're not from this world and you're one of the people who have joined recently to the channel, I'm going to give you a high level. Think of what I'm about to tell you from a frame and mindset of being able to sell your car. Okay? Think about your car, and then I'm going to show you exactly how that filters into the NRA, into GOA, all these rulings that are happening. Now, you got your idea of selling your car and how that can make you a criminal? Yep, here we go. Check this out. This is coming from Gun Owners of America. Judge Mays smacked down Pam Bondi, who is the current Attorney General, DOJ for defending ATF's Biden-era engaged in the business rule. Of course, Attorney General Pam Bondi should never have defended gun control in the first place. Of course, that is correct. That is an absolutely astute assessment, and I was texting back and forth with the NRA today. This is a good one. Now, the reason this is so important, if you're not familiar, like I said, you're one of the 100,000 people who have joined the channel in the last month. You have to understand what the engaged in business rule is at a high level. Okay, the veterans in the channel know what I'm talking about, but the newbies, you have to understand this is basically something that said, if you sell a gun to someone, you are now an official business and you are subject to FFL rules. Okay, high level. Go back to the car example. If you sell your car to your neighbor, father, son, brother, sister, cousin, you're now a car dealer. Okay, that's what this is about. That's why the NRA has such a big win on this, and it's not the first time that we've seen this. When I say that the gun world is leading out of the gun world fight and branching out into the politics general and helping fight the general Democrat push, this is what I mean. We're experts in this. We've been through this for years. We have a case in point, which I'm going to show you in a second. There you go. Despite the Justice Department's continued defense of Biden's engaged in the business tyranny, a federal judge in Alabama just struck down the rule for NRA members. Now, this is really important. Because if you know anything about this fight, or if you're a newbie, this is the exact same path that the pistol brace ruling happened or occurred with. They started striking it down bit by bit, piece by piece. It went to all the different groups. First, it was GOA, I believe in both cases, Gun Owners of America, and then it was NRA, then it was FPC, then it was Second Amendment Foundation. All of their members were protected, and then all of a sudden it became a national injunction. That's what you're seeing here. GOA got the engaged in business tyranny prevented for all of their members, and now the NRA has the exact same thing. The underlying reason here, I'm going to get big for you for a second. The underlying reason this is so massive for everyone, even outside the gun world, is because, again, these people made rules without passing anything through Congress, without signing it by the president, without getting through the Senate, getting past the filibuster, nothing. They only used the bureaucracy to change all of these rules. Again, going back to your car example, they overnight signed a piece of paper that said the ATF can determine if you are a car dealer or not because you sold a car. That is the equivalent to what we're talking about right here. So it's the abuse of power of bureaucracy because you can't get anything through Congress because it's all an infringement. That's what you're talking about here. Okay? And this is really good ways to share it with people as you're bringing this to their attention. Now, here's one of the pieces. Let me pull it up for you again. Then one of the court comments that's a backhand right here. Watch this. To sum up, the court will enter a separate order that permanently enjoins the Justice Department, ATF, Acting Director Daniel Driscoll, and AG Pam Bondi from enforcing these aspects of the engaged in business final rule against any member of the NRA. And as I mentioned, they already did it for Gun Owners of America, or GOA. Okay. Here's the in the weeds details. I'm going to do this quickly. We're at 5 minutes, just so we can get ready for the show tonight. This is from Alabama. Everything's linked. An Alabama federal judge has struck down key parts of a controversial rule issued by the Biden-era ATF that redefined when gun owners are considered engaged in the business of selling firearms, siding with the National Rifle Association and 2 Alabama collectors in a win for gun rights advocates. Again, if you are not a gun owner or you are not a part of the gun world, think about this as your car or as your house or as silver bullion or as a purse. Whatever the thing is, if you sold it, you're now a dealer of that thing. It is owned by you. It is your personal property. But because a bureaucrat decided that they wanted to circumvent Congress, now you are a dealer of purses, cars, houses. All of a sudden, you're a real estate agent. All of a sudden, you're a realtor if you sell your house. It doesn't make sense on any level. But again, that's why they're losing, because they've overstepped their bounds. That's why I always say on this channel, we're going to win, because they pushed too many doors open. Let's continue. In a decision issued Tuesday, U.S. District Judge Corey L. Mays of the Northern District granted summary judgment to plaintiffs Don Butler of Talladega and David Glidewell of Ragland, both NRA members, along with the NRA itself. The ruling permanently blocks federal authorities from enforcing multiple provisions of the ATF's final rule against the plaintiffs and NRA members, finding the agency exceeded its statutory authority under federal law. No kidding. Like we've been saying for 4 years on this channel. Of course they did. That was the whole point. They can't get it through Congress, so they go through the bureaucratic morass that is D.C. The final rule, which took effect in April of 2024, aimed to tighten the definition of who must register as a firearms dealer, subjecting some private sellers to licensing, record-keeping, and background check requirements. Under the rule, even a single firearm transaction, if combined with certain signals about future sales, could have triggered the need for a federal license. This is the whole point, and I'm going to wrap up with one thing in a second on this document. The entire point is they made you a dealer of something if you sold something that was rightfully yours. Now, the people in the gun world who have been with me for 4 years, who are thoroughly in and out of this, and they were here when Biden introduced this, you guys know what this is. But if you're one of the newer crowd that joined, like I said, 1/6 of our audience literally joined in the last 3 months. We added 90,000 subscribers, and thank you to each and every one of you. But this is the entire point. Imagine selling something that was yours, that you purchased of your own cash and of your own validity, and now it's making you a dealer if you sell it. This is abuse by a bureaucratic agency. Now, last thing. Mays' ruling permanently enjoins enforcement of the final rule's expanded definitions and regulatory presumptions against NRA members, concluding the agency overstepped its bounds by defining engaged in business more broadly than Congress intended. Yes, Congress makes the laws. The bureaucrats are forced to enforce the law. They don't get to reinterpret it as their own volition. The decision does not overturn the entire final rule nationwide, however, and constitutional questions raised by the plaintiffs, including claims under the Second and Fifth Amendments, have yet to be fully addressed. And here's the thing. Where this is going to go next is the exact way that it went with the pistol brace ruling. With the pistol brace ruling, it went GOA, NRA, FPC, and then pretty soon after that, it went nationwide. That's exactly where this is going to. All of the Biden-era bureaucratic abuses against our rights are unwinding slowly. We pulled the thread. We're really good at it in the gun world because honestly, we're under the boot a whole lot. But for those of you who have not dealt with this yet, understand this is what they do, not just in the gun world, they do it to you guys too in every other aspect because it's the same tactics, it's the same agents, it's just a different targeted item at the time. That's why we fight this together. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to get out of here, prepare for the live stream tonight. I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.